Yeah, with a campaign like this, we are optimistic that there will be a reduction in the impunity. Of course, it was going very, very high. That was why the United Nations came up with a treaty for us to be able to mark a day like November 2nd every year. And with the global community rising up against the impunity for crimes against journalists, we are optimistic that it will go down. But it will not go down if all of us sit back and say nothing or do nothing about this impunity. We must all rise up together and join the campaign to speak up against every act of brutality, every act of assault, every act of abuse against elite journalists. Like they say in some common parlance, an injustice to one is injustice to all. And when you successfully silence a journalist, what you have done is to plunge that society into darkness. And that is what we have to fight against. It was a very harrowing experience for me, but it also ignited a passion in me that today I remain undeterred in practicing as a journalist. That is the profession I signed up for. That is the only thing I actually know how to do, and that is one thing I would never stop doing. Journalism is what we believe in, and whether they try to silence us or not, we will keep practicing as journalists, and we'll keep rising up, standing up to protect and defend the sanctity and integrity of the profession called journalism.
It is ensuring safety of journalists on election coverage. What a timely motif, particularly when we are on the eve of another general election in our dear country, Nigeria. In a society that has become so thoroughly militarized, where almost everybody validates daily experiences by referring to the news or some other new media offering, it is a fact that we live in a media-saturated society. This is a big challenge as public trust keeps waning over time due to ethical and professional inadequacies. There is a general belief that the media are failing in service, or rather serving the public interests and requirements of democracy. Because of economic pressure and what some have called backpack journalism, editorial oversight and leadership in the newsroom have declined. And in many, the subtext has been eliminated. No more fact-finding or fact-checking. It is like anything can go as far as it will bring money, and probably not libelous.
It's been 5 years since the United Nations began commemorating International Day to End Impunity for crimes against journalists. This day provides an opportunity to assess how we respond to security problems faced by journalists as they carry out their investigative and reporting duties. It's an opportunity to assess how we address the impunity with which all too often crimes and attacks against journalists are perpetrated. To be sure, significant progress has been made over the past 5 years, a time during which both the public at large and political advisors have become far more aware of the problem of impunity. The corresponding international legal framework has been strengthening through the adoption of more than 10 resolutions by United Nations organizations since 2013. However, implementing the necessary measures at the national level remains a challenge. Since 2006, UNESCO has condemned the murder of 1,010 journalists and media professionals. 9 out of 10 such cases have not been brought to court. Moreover, according to the 2017-2018 edition of UNESCO World Trends in Freedom of Expression and Media Development Report, attack against and harassment of women journalists, particularly online platforms, have increased. We must urgently address the specific threats which face women journalists and which ultimately extend to the journalistic profession as a whole.
I would say it could reduce. It takes two, I must say, to tango. And as journalists too, we need to also do some reality check on our practice. That don't go out there to write falsehood. Because when you write falsehood, that's when the security people will come after you. That's when the subject what about can come after you. That we keep to the tenets of our profession I believe that all these problems about assault and attacks can really go down. We cannot really wish it totally away, because what we do, our business is always a dangerous business, especially when you are writing about the truth. Even truth can make you find out if there is need for you to get a permit so that you don't run foul of their rules there. And once you get so, and then maybe you earn your permit, and so I don't think anybody will attack you. You'll be free to do your job. But if you know that in these days now there are all kinds of emergency journalists, even carrying cameras. They are not journalists. And people who are organizing events, they want to make sure that those ones are never invited to their event. They don't want them to be there. So if they suspect you, they can attack you. So my belief is that find out the rules that will govern an event, and if there is need for you to get a permit, try to get one. Wear the tag so that nobody can come after you.